Hello everyone, so I'm back today and I'm here to talk about a Amazon Prime Video movie called Killer Heat. This movie stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Nick Bailey and Shailene Woodley as Penelope. And of course Richard Madden as Elias. So this is really just a true detective story in a lot of ways. And despite the moments of blatant predictability and a little bit boring in some instances, it does have its moments of being a genre film with all the usual tropes, but also a little mindless entertainment type thing. Now look, the protagonist is this typical dark, drunk detective, who's dealing with some deep-seated past trauma, and has the weight, or at least feels like he has the weight of the whole world on his shoulders. That being said, um, you know, he again, despite these archetypes, there's still some level of interest in this, and there's still some level of excitement with this film. Um, there's a very typical love triangle between two powerful family members, and for 85 to 90 of the 96 minutes that this movie runs, it doesn't do anything super unique or fun. It just kind of is, again, a typical film within the genre. The last 9 or 10 minutes of the film at least did something a little bit interesting, which subverted expectations enough where you're kind of like, oh, interesting, nice. I want to know what they're doing here a little more. And I think, at least for me, the way that ended, I was like, oh, damn. Could we end up with a sequel that would actually be significantly more interesting? Just because of what they did in the last 10 minutes of this movie, I think it does set that ground really nicely. And with a film like this, where it's kind of like the soap opera stereotype character type thing, where they're very over exaggerated character archetypes, and or caricatures of the characters who they are trying to play, and you can't really talk about the acting because it's kind of like, okay, well, you're playing overly overly expressed characters anyways, so it kind of is a moot point on that front. And it feels hard to really, with any vigor, discuss this film just because there isn't much that happens in it, which is of super, like, there's nothing super unique or super interesting which happens in the film from a again, not a typical genre film perspective. But with that being said, I think if you're looking for something that is a turn off your brain kind of watch a film which is mildly predictable and no cognitive energy required, then I think this is still an enjoyable movie that's going to have you at least somewhat interested the entire way through. And there are moments of like, ooh, this is pretty fun, and so I think that's kind of my overall take on the movie. But with that being said, it's out on Prime Video, so go check it out if you want. And thank you all for watching. See you next time. Bye.